This is the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show. Dr. Meleeka has a background as a clinical psychologist, actress, director, model, and human rights activist. The Dr. Meleeka Clary Show will help move you towards bettering the quality of your life with positive psychology. So please welcome your host, Dr. Meleeka Clary.
Welcome to the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show on the Bold and Brave TV network. Thank you guys for joining me again. I'm so blessed to be able to do this every week, and it's just wonderful. And I'm really, really happy about that. You know, one thing about my show, it's all about positive psychology, mental illness. Of course, it's always about the judicial system. And I always want people to understand how important it is to what I do. I want to give you information. If it's not with the entertainment business, it's psychology, how to live your life, or even hearing testimonies by people out there that be able to tell you how they live life and what they do. And so I really like to give you resources. I mean, even if I interview actors, actresses, attorneys, doesn't matter. To me, they all have a story. And their story it's almost like when people think they're not normal. No, they are. They're average people just like you and I. And, everybody has a challenge. Everybody has something they're facing. And I like when they share their testimonies. And I love for my show to be just about that. So then if you think you're the only one that's going through something in life, you're not. And and when you listen to other people's testimonies, it doesn't matter. We're all human beings. And what happens is that they go through it too. And what I'm trying to do with my platform is to help you, help myself as well. Because there are some things that I've heard from many of my guests and some helpful tips that help me through the day. And, it just got me thinking. And I'm all about sharing and caring. So I'm glad I'm able to share information with you, resources. Like I said, even if it's an entertainment or judicial system, because I'm a human rights activist as well. I just hope that you get so much out of what I'm doing here, because I'm doing it for you, but I'm also doing it for me, because someone needs that information. Today we have a wonderful guest, and I say she's just a treat. Her name is an attorney. Actually, she is an attorney, but her name, and I just say attorney first, but attorney Kristin Szczerbik. And let me tell you before I introduce you to her and bring her on, she has played in my movie as a lawyer, Three Corners of Deception. She did a wonderful job. So when you get a chance to see the movie when it's out publicly, please. She plays as Libby. But one thing about her, she is so real. That's why I love her so much. She keeps it real to you, and she gives it to you too. And I love it. But she's also an activist as well. I mean, she believes in caring about people. Yes, she's a lawyer. She's a family law lawyer, and she's actually a criminal lawyer as well. So she does a lot. She wears a lot of hats as well. And an actress. Oh, she's bad. But I just had to bring her on this show because she has amazing stories as well, and challenges of her own, and things that you can learn from. So welcome, my friends, as I welcome attorney Kristin Szczerbik. Kristin, how are you?
You for that wonderful introduction. I'm grateful to be here on the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show.
Yes. Thank you so much. You look gorgeous. I love that hair. It's beautiful.
It's red.
It is red, but I like it. You look so good in red. Yes, you do,
Thank
my dear.
you.
Yes, you do. I would say attorney, it's funny because you got Kristin Servant, and I was like, she does have an attorney up there, but that's okay. I let them know. I let them know. And
Thank you.
because you know what? Because you wear so many hats. And, it's just interesting that you do so much and for the community, and as well as being an attorney, but also you are a lawyer, and you are so many more things. And I'll let you explain that. But before I do that, because I did my research, and plus I know you, I think we work well together and things. But you know what? Knowing somebody and on their professional level and sometime on some other levels, there's some things I don't really know. So to me, I need to ask you this question. How do you identify yourself? Because what I know of you, that's great, but not everybody identifies them as that person or that individual. So how do you identify yourself?
It was interesting you pointed out that I didn't add attorney in front of my name, even though that is what I am and I do every day. But I do
Mhm.
identify myself as something more than that. First and foremost, a mom. I'm a mother. That's always first and foremost in my heart, in my thinking, and everything that I do. And more than just an attorney, in everything that I do in life, I consider myself an advocate. So in law, I'm an advocate for my clients. So yes, I'm an attorney by title there, attorney by trade, but I look at it as something more than that in everything that I do. So I'm a mom, I'm an advocate, which includes an attorney. Uh, in some ways, I look at myself as a teacher and a coach. I'm involved in my community with the kids. Start out with my own children, and then I continue to coach all kinds of different things with the school around here with speech and debate and things like that. So I continue to be involved in many ways, and any way I can have outreach. So that's who I define myself. But also part of that I think is very important for who I am is that I'm a woman, and a woman living in this society, and I take that to heart. I actually got the chills when I said that for some reason.
That's right.
I didn't expect that, but especially some of the issues that people face. Everyone has their own challenges that they face and things that they go through. And I have dealt with that live in a male dominated
Oh, Oh,
industry.
you about to hit something. But you know what? Before you hit that, I have to take a brief commercial.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, we have to take a brief commercial on that and come right back. We will be right back with the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show on the Bold and Brave TV network. Don't you go anywhere, because we still got the famous and the talented and beautiful attorney Kristin Szczerbik. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery, or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them. Rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies. Find settings that allow them to be the most productive and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
Welcome back, my friends, to the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show on the Bold and Brave TV network. Well, we're coming live. I love that. I love that. You know what? I'm so glad that, like I said, I get to do this. And I just want to welcome back my guest, attorney Kristin Szczerbik. And I hope I'm saying that right.
That's the closest most people get. So I appreciate
Okay,
it.
you know what?
Yes.
I've been studying it last night. I said cervic. Cervic. I didn't want to say it's cervic. It sounds like Bic, but it's cervic. Cervic.
Yeah, Szczerbik. Yes.
Yeah, I get it sometime, but I'm like, you know what? It's one of those tongue twisters. I was working at it, girl. I promise. I was trying.
I
I promise.
appreciate that.
I really do.
I
I
just
tell everybody.
don't worry about the last name. Everyone knows.
You know.
And they try that it's me. So.
Oh, well, I'm glad your spirit's good because I don't do it on purpose. I be trying though. I hit you up last night. I was like, give me the right spelling. She did it all. She was like, I videos for you. She gave me her audio and everything. I still messing it a little bit up.
It's totally fine.
See, that's what we have to do. We have to keep it real because I've worked with Kristin and she's just a blast. I mean, she is a blast, a loving spirit, and I just love it. So I'm glad that, I get to have this opportunity with you. Before we went off on break, you was about to tell me some of the struggles also. Like you mentioned being a woman, and we are women. So, and I'd like to hear your intake about that.
Yeah, it's interesting as a child being a girl and growing up, I didn't realize that there were potential challenges facing me that perhaps my brothers may not face, and they have their own challenges. Until I really got more into my career, most everything I've done is a career that requires really, requires both energies, your male and female energy, if you're doing it really well. A lot of people really notice the male energy. You get in there and I call it, the yin and the yang, so to say, if we don't want to define male and female. And so there is a lot of conflict sometimes that comes out when people see that coming out of this tiny little redheaded female. They don't expect it. They try to out, and then they hear me speak, and then they watch me in court, and they say, "Wow, okay, I guess she's got skills. We can't discount her." But unfortunately, I have experienced personally throughout my career times where I have been discounted purely on the basis of being a woman in my career, and I've talked to other female attorneys, and they have encountered that too. It's not frequent. Let me just put it that way. It's not something we experience on a daily basis. So it really took me back the times that I did, because I didn't expect that people would view me purely on the outside and on a description, a label, a title, and not who I am and my power as an attorney. And it did take me aback, and I had to figure out how to respond to that. And responding to that, it was kind of a lose-lose in some ways, because you respond and that you get some kickback. You're not going to get the thing that you were going after in the first place. But for me, no matter what the result was, it is a win-win in my mind, because it brings up the conversations that need to be had. It points out something that shouldn't be there, something maybe that people don't realize they're doing, or maybe they realize it in particular cases that those people realized it, but conversations
exactly.
Other people realize it, and its attention is drawn to it, and it can stop. And there's just really no need for it. But it really did take me aback. And it's kind of one of those things people think when you're in a bit of a bubble. You think, oh, that stuff doesn't exist, or this sort of discrimination in this way or that way doesn't exist. And then you experience it, and you say, yes, it does. And so when you hear other people's stories, you have more credibility to what they're saying. And I'm really at the point in my life when a client or anybody says something that happened to them, I don't discount it at all. I really think just about anything's possible. And even if it's not proven evidentiary wise, that's their experience. So to them, it's absolutely real. And I take that into heart when a client is talking to me about their story, because I've experienced things that I didn't think would ever happen, things that are beyond movies. They say reality is
Mm-hmm.
stranger than fiction, and it's true. If the
That's
camera
right.
around on a daily basis in the type of law that I do, people would be blown away. Even the documentaries that are done, and I've watched, several of them. Of course, there was even one that was regarding juveniles in Indiana. It still doesn't capture the whole picture because there's so much you're not allowed to see because of
That's
confidentiality.
right.
But the stories,
Wow.
stories.
You know what? And you know what? You're right. You've seen it a lot. And it's like, wow. And you've went through that challenge. Let me ask you, have you ever faced any challenges? I mean, being a woman, but any personal challenges? Because, I have to ask, and before you even answer that, as a belief system first. But because my show is about mental illness and how that affects a person mentally, what is your belief system? I mean, I'm Christian, but not everybody's Christian. But when things happen in their life, where is the outlet? What do you do? Because I'm sure someone's looking and listening and saying, well, how can this person help me? They look like they may live a perfect life. So, what is
Yeah.
your belief system that you really get involved with?
That's a profound question, and I appreciate you digging deeper into that. And certainly, I've had challenges, and we can talk about those later. But
Mhm.
how I have learned to deal with them is really based on the foundation I've learned throughout my life that started in childhood. And part of that is through a faith and through a religion, particular religion. And I've been back and forth, but I always have come back to the same one just because of comfort of how I was raised. But for me, it's a deeper spirituality that connects all of us. There's an energy, I think, that comes from a higher power that I see in everything. And that's why I surround myself with nature as much as possible. It's actually,
Oh, wait a I know where you're going with that one, and I wanna hear that, and I
okay.
really need you to hear because that one changed me overnight. I gotta hear that. Before you get to that, we are going to take a brief commercial, and we will be right back with the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show on the Bold and Brave TV network. Do not go nowhere, guys. We will be back with the famous Kristin. Oh, I just have to say that.
Did you know that your beliefs create your entire reality, but it's the subconscious beliefs that do most of the creating? Belief shifter and life coach Shiraz can help you identify those limiting beliefs and eliminate them, often in a single session.
Like it was almost instant, like I had relief right away.
Creating better health, relationships, careers, and finances. Let Shiraz help you step out of safety and into awareness.
Definitely something's happening. It's like a flow inside. It feels good.
Whether in person or online, Shiraz provides personal coaching, belief shifting. Visit Shiraz at energeticmagic.com or call 416-529-7429. Energetic Magic on the BBM Global Network, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Find your greater happiness. Be well. Be aware. Be magical.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Welcome back to the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show on the Bold and Brave TV network. Thank you guys for tuning back in. We are still with attorney Kristin, and we was just talking about some things about some challenges. So let's welcome her back to the scene here.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. You was about to get into some, well, I want to say maybe spiritual or some beliefs that some techniques maybe you do or something. Go ahead. Finish up. I can't wait.
Yes, you were asking me about my belief system of how I get through my challenges, and I was talking about that. So I do believe that there is a higher power. I do believe that higher power is presents its energy in everything that surrounds us. And for me personally, I live out in nature. You know, I've told you before, I live out here in the forest with the trees. I'm looking over. I wanted to have the camera facing the trees so you guys could see what I'm talking about.
Oh,
It's so beautiful right now with the vibrant colors, but the window, the lighting was too much. But
oh,
trust me, I'm
wow.
looking at beautiful Indiana trees right now, all surrounding with that beautiful spring green. And I look at that and I got the chills again. I feel the energy of that. And for me, that keeps me connected. I have to be connected. And whether I, happen to go to church and feel connected that way, something I do every single day is just be in the moment of the nature around me and the trees. And just coming home from work, I'll
Yeah.
start to relax and breathe and thinking about, okay, I'm going to come home and I'll be surrounded by the forest, surrounded by the energy, and it feels loving. The tree doesn't judge you. The tree doesn't
You know
care.
what? You're right about that.
You
A tree
are.
doesn't judge you.
It doesn't, and the tree just gives. And I think I was telling you before, so we were collecting the sap from the maple trees around here, and my kids were here, and my little niece and nephew. And niece and nephew were doing that for the first time. So it was quite a project. It was really fun. We were going out to all the different trees, and my daughter was showing them how to do that for the first time, and we were out there and tapping the trees. And one thing we did at the very end is to give thanks to the tree. I said, well, all right, let's give the tree a hug. And so we literally were hugging the tree. And my dad was laughing and he wanted to take a picture. I said, no, Dad, no picture. Just put the phone down, hug the tree with us. And we all did. And you could feel the bark on your face. And it just makes me laugh because, we're literal tree huggers, I guess. I didn't know I was, but and it was just a moment. And my little niece, her smile's so bright, kind of like yours. Every time we go back from a commercial, your smile makes me want to dance. But she could just laughed and smiled, and they were talking about it just the other day. I saw them again, and they were talking about what we did a few weeks ago. So that's kind of where I am with that. That renews me, refills my soul, refills my energy, because so much of my energy is given when
That's
I'm
right.
and dealing with not just my own challenges, but the kind of law I do are trying to advocate for people in the most difficult moments of their life. And that just takes
Wow.
so much. And you have
That's
to
right.
refill. You have to, or you can't be a good advocate for them. In your self-care just goes out the window, and you start to get sick, and your mental
Oh,
health goes out the
that's
window. So
right.
for me, that's how I feel strongly connected.
You know what?
And then
That's amazing that you
I'm sorry.
no, it's okay, girl. Girl, it's okay with you.
I'll tell you, I'm an attorney. What do you
We got it. I mean, you know what? You got me hugging trees. Okay.
yes,
I'm
you
telling
should.
you.
Everybody should hug a tree.
You know what? I think just the meditation process of the growth of it, and your story and how you feel, because you're right, trees grow and it gives you that earthly love. I've never looked at it that way until you explained that to me. And because of that, I view it a lot differently. I mean, I go out my porch and I'm like, I'm waiting to go to a tree. I'm not kidding. I'm like, because it doesn't judge you, and you're absolutely correct. It doesn't judge you. So what I'm saying is it gives you that, like, you could just take your mind and go. You know what I mean? And free. And I love that free spirit. That is just a wonderful feeling. So thank you for sharing that. Let me ask you, what kind of challenges have you ever been through that got you just saying, oh my goodness, I don't know if I'm going to make it, or maybe, it's just challenging and it's heavy on me, because, people go through it and they go through it. And what kind of challenges did you ever had in your life that was just like, how am I gonna get through this?
Yes, absolutely. I've had those moments, those decades. I guess. In my adult life, the biggest one for me has been the uh, breaking up of my marriage, and
Yeah.
I guess I don't even know if that's the way I would word it. It would be loss of the expectation of the future that we were going to have, and we didn't even have the kind of separation that I deal with my clients, where it's just,
Mhm.
or that you've had
Yeah.
experience, that we know about from the movie,
Yes.
just hostile and just so potentially harmful to not only the individuals but to the child and children. Um, and we actually chose not to have it that way, and we actually get along. We live about 10 minutes apart. Our
Mhm.
youngest is about to go off to college. The other two have already left the house, and we made, oddly, this commitment to, I say oddly because it's strange that we made a commitment for the marriage that didn't work, so we continue the commitment to be parents. And I said, hey, I can't handle that we are not together, but I
Mhm.
absolutely, even worse than that, I don't think I can even function if we can't handle figuring out how to be cordial and continue to be parents. And he has honored that commitment 100% to this day, and I've done what I can to as well. He'll have to tell you if I'm doing a good job with that or not. I can't, you know,
Yeah.
judge for him. But just it was so challenging when we first separated, because it was, my whole life was the future. These
Yeah.
were the goals. This is what we set out. This is what the future's going to be. Not only with my Catholic upbringing, it's just supposed to be forever, but it was just my
Mm.
personal belief that that was my person, my soulmate. And,
That's it.
we started out life together. We built the life together. We have the children. And then it we couldn't make it work between us fully in the way that we needed to. And it was so sad. I cried and cried every night. I fell back into prayer a lot and the trees a lot, but
You know what, and and I really want you to explain that because we went through some similarities. But before you continue, we are going to take a brief commercial, and we will be right back with the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show on the Bold and Brave TV network, where attorney Kristin. Do not go nowhere, folks. Mm-mm. You need this. Don't go nowhere.
Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness: Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. Did you know that your beliefs create your entire reality, but it's the subconscious beliefs that do most of the creating? Belief shifter and life coach Shiraz can help you identify those limiting beliefs and eliminate them, often in a single session.
Like it was almost instant, like I had relief right away.
Creating better health, relationships, careers, and finances. Let Shiraz help you step out of safety and into awareness.
Definitely something's happening. It's like a flow inside. It feels good.
Whether in person or online, Shiraz provides personal coaching, belief shifting. Visit Shiraz at energeticmagic.com or call 416-529-7429. Energetic Magic on the BBM Global Network, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Find your greater happiness. Be well. Be aware. Be magical.
Welcome back, my friends, to the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show on the Bold and Brave TV network. We are still with the attorney, Kristin, and she has been just a wonderful guest and just explaining, just different challenges. So why don't we welcome her back? Come on, Kristin. All
Thank you.
right. Yes, you are welcome, my dear. You was going in through the challenges of when you went through the divorce and how you was dealing with it. And as I remember, you was crying each day. That feeling, and I have to be sympathetic to that because for me, I definitely could relate, because I came to Indiana on a invitation. I'm from Boston, you know what I mean? So I got married and the person lives here. So I left, my other extended family to come here and brought my other little immediate family with me. So I can imagine when you feel lost and that's how I felt. So explain to me how you was just getting through it day by day.
Yeah. Lost is a good way to describe it. Even though I'm physically here and physically going through the motions, I felt like my anchor was gone. The anchor of what I expected for the future and everything we had planned out was just gone. And I kept it to myself. I didn't really reach out to people when I should have. I should have probably leaned more on family, but I felt shame and didn't really want to share that with my family. Or even if I was afraid, even if I did, they would, just how they would look. Not that they would judge me. They would never do that, but in my mind. So I certainly didn't want people at work to know. So I just kept it to myself, and I would come home and I would cry. And I didn't want the kids to see me to cry, but I know that they did. And I was many months where I would just cry every night. And then I finally started taking some of my own advice, which was something I recently had to give to my middle child, who's getting ready to graduate college. And he has what I've always coined the beginning life crisis. I think I had one when I was in college too, where everything's about to change. Suddenly you're completely on your own. You got to figure out your whole life and you're like a little overwhelmed. And he was kind of going through that and seeking out input and didn't know what to do. And I said, hey, you know what? When you can't figure out what to do in your own life and you're lost and you can't figure out how to help your own self, well, you have abilities and gifts. So use those to help somebody else and then you'll figure out the way. And my son took that advice. So I learned that actually during this process of trying to figure out how to deal with that loss that I had. And that helped tremendously. I just started focusing on, okay, I can't figure out what to do with myself. I don't know how to fix myself. I don't know how to help myself. I'm going to help others, and just pour myself more into that. And it just naturally started to heal me to where I could then figure out what was going on and process and become a stronger person and more connected on the other end. And I fully believe in that. So when I gave that advice later on to my adult son, it was very genuine and heartfelt. And I think that's probably why he took the advice. I was surprised. You never know if your child's going to take your advice, right? And he did.
Yes.
He really did. He started looking at, he's volunteering at Riley right now. He's figuring things out, and it's really helped put him on a path to see perspective. Okay, yeah, I got this going on, but you know what? There's a lot going on in the world, and I have to process it, deal with it, and so that helped me a lot. Also, the connection of where I'm at with the trees, and always just going outside as much as possible, being in nature, and then prayer for me.
Yes.
Just the traditional prayer. I was raised Catholic, so yeah, I have a rosary sitting on my bed. And if I don't know what else to do, if I'm so lost, I don't even know how to just say, hey God, what's up? I can't even handle that. I'll just take out the rosary and just do the memorized prayers, because it's like a meditation. And it
Yes.
helps me through it. And I feel like I'm not doing it alone. So that's not something I share with people. Hey, I'm sitting here praying my rosary. I don't know why. I probably should, I guess. But it's just with my line of work, I don't always just openly wear that out for the world to see, unless it happens to come out for a reason. But those are the things I've done. And
well, you're human. You know what I mean? You're a human person first. Doesn't matter how many titles you hold. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter how many hats you wear. It's the person. You're still a person, and that's the thing about people they need to understand. we're still people. And you said it clearly. You give, you give, you give. And when you're going through something, how do you always have to be that strong individual? When does someone says, Kristin, how are you doing? But you have
Yeah.
to always have that, look that you are in control. And you're a
Yeah.
strong, feisty one too. Oh, I
Yeah.
know.
Well, I'm here.
I've seen you in action, my dear.
Yes,
And
but
but
yeah, there's another
everybody has,
side.
exactly. And everybody has that moment. And that's why I have to, we're up against mental illness, but there's people that you wouldn't think that develops depression or anxiety or loneliness, or something. It's like being an actress all the time. And you go home and when you shut the door,
Yeah,
it no one's around, and here we go. That's not
absolutely.
how it should be. Shouldn't be like that. We should be able to express ourselves. Judgment, yes, people judge, but you know why? Why
Right.
judge? We're not going to be able to change it. You're always going to have somebody that says, "Hey, you didn't do this right, or you should have done that." I felt the same when I went through my divorce. Oh yeah, I left, and a couple people, "Oh yeah, you shouldn't went." I mean, what do you figure out? I mean, you go leave to his state. You think that's going to happen? Not happen?
Right,
But you know
right.
what? I jump for love. I'm not, and I tell people I still do it. I mean, do it a little differently, but I would still go with my heart, and I'm training over it. And we'll talk about that in the movie when we talk about you. But there's a healing process, and I'm so glad that you found your way of getting back on track. And that is so important. And I have to commend you for that. And as I say to people, we still day by day, one step at a time, but acknowledge it and try to deal with it. And I think that's great. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate you for doing that. And on that note, we are going to take a brief commercial, and we will be right back with the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show on the Bold and Brave TV network. Do not go back. Don't go nowhere. We are still with the gorgeous Kristin, attorney Kristin, and the actress. Hello.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Welcome back to the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show on the Bold and Brave TV network. Welcome back. We are still with the beautiful Kristin, attorney Kristin, and the actress. Come on back. There we go. There's my little feisty redhead.
I wish I could be introduced that way every day in court. Welcome, you beautiful attorney Kristin Szczerbik.
That's right.
Everyone should be
I have to
introduced this
say
way.
you are such a fun one. I have to say, and thank you for sharing everything. And before we took a brief commercial, I do want to ask you. You had mentioned some things about taking care of yourself. What is some important self-care techniques that you do for Kristin?
Oh, good question. Those are probably
Yes.
the first things that I got. Those are the hardest things, or I would say the easiest things to let go of when you're trying to take care of other people, and I can put that aside. But for me, I really do make it a point to make sure I get, well, I'm outside. I get my connection with the nature. I have specific time that's family time, and I just don't let anything interfere with that. I will say this is my time with my child, and I won't answer the phone. I won't, because my clients, they're 24/7, and I want to be there 24/7. But there are moments, my child has to know, no matter what, even if they're calling me and I'm in court, that they are still number one to me. So that's something I really focus on, and that is a self-care thing for me. But then other than that, then I like to run. I mean, I'm 49, but I still do gymnastics. And it's
go ahead,
so
girl.
fun. It is so fun. I do circus gymnastics also, I call it. And not anything like I did when I was a kid. There's lots of, creaks and it sounds like things are breaking on my ankles and stuff, but it is so much fun, and I get so much joy out of it. Even if I don't, can't do what I used to do, and the other adults in that class, we just laugh, and sometimes we just sit there and talk more than we do gymnastics. But that's so important to me to go every week to that. And
Oh my
just
goodness, that
I
sounds
know
wonderful. Oh no, I love it. I cheerlead for years, all the way to like high school. I was a cheerleader, so similar. I like to
it's
do my little jump ups and rah rah. I do it sometime. I ain't gonna lie. I do the eagle spread. I do the other way.
Well, it's proven that physical exercise, physical movement will help with depression. And if
Yes, it
you
does.
don't have access to medicine, if you don't have access, that's like one of the smallest things you can do is physically move and force yourself to get up. And I've had to do that before. I just said,
That's
I
right.
don't want to do this. It's so much easier to say no. And then I just force myself. I just sit, I just make myself do it, and I go. And when I'm done, I feel better automatically.
Mhm.
And that's just something simple that I
That
can do.
is so
So those are
good.
my things that I
I
try not
love it.
to.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And it's interesting because you said that because I dance too. I mean,
Oh,
I used to dance a lot. Oh my goodness, I'm
hey,
bad
are you
on flow.
seeing?
Yeah, I'm bad. I can hang up there with Janet Jackson. I'm not kidding. Shoot, I
I
love me
want to
some
see
dance.
that. I want to see the moves.
I would love to see that too. But I don't know. She know how to do a split. I still could do my split, but I gotta do it fast. I have
Right.
to jump up
Might feel
and
the next
split.
day.
I mean, then I won't feel the pain. I'd just be like, boom, because I know my mind over matter. That's what it is. You know what I mean? I said, I know I could do it
Absolutely.
still. I still could do it, But dance it's beautiful. And I tell people, I love if I go dancing somewhere, even when I dance in the house, I like that music. I like to cut the rug. I mean, I don't care. I get my little knees working and I love it. It's so therapeutic for me. It really is. And I just tell people movement, and I don't know, it just takes me somewhere. I'm somewhere else when I dance, and people want to ride with me. I'd be like, no, this is just one seat for
Well,
now.
it's so basic. The music just makes a child, all the way from childhood. I mean, you're a doctor in psychology. I
That's
I
right.
have one of my degrees in psychology, way lower than doctor,
Mhm.
but
Hey,
I did, with the childhood development, I remember that so strongly about
that's right.
some of those stages, and movement or music
Very much.
naturally makes you move. So there's something to
That's
that.
right.
And
It
I
is psychologically. Yes, it is. Oh, yes, definitely. I think I messed up my hair there. I'm like touching, like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. Hey, we're keeping it real on the show. That's what we do.
Right.
Okay, that's what we do. And you know what? I want to get to something here. Now, we have talked about you were an actress. Now, how was that when you played Libby in the Three Corners of Deception movie that will publicly be out this year?
Yeah.
Hopefully, sometime in the next 6 months. It would be great, but it was in theaters, and people did see your performance, and you did a wonderful job. And I know, how did that feel? I know you played the attorney, but how was it feel? How did it feel, even though it was acting?
Thank you for saying that. But it was,
You're welcome.
well, it was so unusual because in real law, every day, I don't have lines. I passionately feel what I'm advocating for my clients, and I do what they call play jazz. I go with it, and the arguments just come out, whether it's jury trial or sentencing or a trial, because they just come out. But here we have a line, and I have to somehow then go back and make it feel the same. And in my head, I was like, we don't say that in court. Come on. I remember even telling you that
Yeah.
the way somebody was objecting. I was like, Meleeka, they don't really say that in real life. And you're like, it's okay. It's artistic. This is part. I'm like, oh, yeah. So it was weird to have that wall because I do that in real life to figure out how to act that versus other times I've done acting. I wasn't playing an attorney. So for some reason I could pull into that. It was easier, but there was a lot of fun and I enjoyed it very much. And I think I told you before, even when we were there, one of the ones I enjoyed the most when we were in real courtrooms I actually practiced in. And there
That's
was one
right.
I remember, I was like, this is one of my regular and then I remember the court staff looking at me and looking at me. I'm like, no, I'm an actor now. So much fun. I enjoyed working with you so much and
Thank
watching
you.
and some of the actors who aren't attorneys and doing giving the lines that they had in their performances. I cried. I was moved.
You know what? And I'm glad you mentioned that. And we're gonna continue a little bit because you know what? It was real. It was real. And I love everybody who participated in the movie. But we will be right back. We're gonna take a brief commercial. We'll be right back with the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show on the Bold and Brave TV network. Don't go nowhere. We're still with the fabulous, beautiful Kristin.
Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them. Rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies. Find settings that allow them to be the most productive and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. Did you know that your beliefs create your entire reality, but it's the subconscious beliefs that do most of the creating? Belief shifter and life coach Shiraz can help you identify those limiting beliefs and eliminate them, often in a single session.
Like it was almost instant, like I had relief right away.
Creating better health, relationships, careers, and finances. Let Shiraz help you step out of safety and into awareness.
Definitely something's happening. It's like a flow inside. It feels good.
Whether in person or online, Shiraz provides personal coaching, belief shifting. Visit Shiraz at energeticmagic.com or call 416-529-7429. Energetic Magic on the BBM Global Network, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Find your greater happiness. Be well. Be aware. Be magical.
Welcome back to the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show, where we are on Bold and Brave TV Network. Thank you for coming back. We're still with the attorney Kristin. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome
Thank
back.
you.
You was talking about, the film and Three Corners of Deception, the movie. And, and for me, and I'm glad, thank you for that, tips of the acting. It was really hard for me to do that movie sometime because at that time, because 10 years ago is what I went through. It wasn't then. So I had to take, even they say you play yourself. It's not really always easy to play yourself. You have to play yourself 10 years ago when your
Right.
mind was discombobulated and you felt betrayed. You know what I mean? You felt like, life was just not it. And, not in my situation. And it is based on true events. And, unfortunately, it's about judicial deception, but it's also about romance and drama and divorce. It's something that just went to a different way. But as I changed it and went into a movie. But what's interesting about this situation, people don't understand. It's a flow technique for me. That was my release to finish this movie. And I had so many people that went one way and another way because, we had 161 people in the movie.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it was that, yeah, oh, big for independent. You know what I mean? But no matter how many, if it was an actor or actress that went this way, went that way, I still had to finish it. Why? Because it was releasing me from something, and it's still doing it. So I'm glad that I met people like you that played the attorneys or played some part in the movie of what I've been going through. And I'm glad that, it turned out the best way it could turn out to. And I say that because even being an amateur, and I took a master class, and Spike Lee was my mentor, and Ron Howard was my mentor. And they said I was further ahead than they were when they did their first movies. So I have to take that as accomplishment
Yeah.
because I don't, my mind was like, how do I get through this? How do I even do it? So connecting the dots was very difficult. And one thing, meeting people like you were just a blessing because, not that you as attorney, but you also brought the movie to life on things you were doing. And I know I pushed you like, come on, come on, come on. And that's okay. You did
Absolutely.
wonderful. You really did. And I say thank you so much for being, and I'll have to look at you in my next movie too. So just look at you. But don't tell nobody that Boston Girls is completed. So we have to let people know that, but don't tell nobody. I keep saying, don't tell nobody.
Everyone.
Boston Girls coming. Boston Girls coming. Okay. Well, you know what, Christy? I am so glad that you had joined me today. We are running out of our time, but that's okay
It's
because
not
you will.
possible.
I know, but you're gonna come back, girl. Please, we
Yes,
talk.
I will. Oh, I have so
You
much to
coming
tell. We
back.
can even
So
get into
that's
so many mental illness
that's
with the
right.
law and so many
That's right.
things that connect
Hmm.
with the movie. Oh, so many
Yes,
things.
we will have you come back. Why don't you give your information? How do people find you?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. So a lot of what I do now is uh, public defense. But I
Okay.
still absolutely do my private practice. I have a very strong private practice, and they
Okay.
can they can go online and look me up, and it's just KSZ Law, and they'll find it.
All right. That's good. I'm so glad. Thank you again, Kristen, for being a guest on the Dr. Meleeka Clary
Thank
show
you.
on the
Too.
Bold and Brave TV network. We will see you again. Yes, 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 you will. Now, if
Look
you're
forward to it.
starting to look, thank you, sweetie. You sound so sweet. Um, you're looking for Dr. Meleeka Clary, you can go to drmeleekaclary.com. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Google me. Just Google me. The website, or I'm on the IMDb. You can find me, or looking for the movie. It's coming soon. And I always have to say this. Thank you for tuning in to the Dr. Meleeka Clary show on the Bold and Brave TV network. If no one said I love you, I'm going to say I love you today. Please take care and be good and have a wonderful day and a weekend to come. God bless you all.
You've been watching the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show. Tune in next week as Dr. Meleeka will help you shift towards a better life. But this show doesn't stop there. She'll provide helpful tips regarding surviving the entertainment industry and the judicial system with practical information. Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern, here on the Bold Brave TV network.